This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and we are located in Morrison, Colorado, on the outskirts of Denver here. We're not far from downtown Denver and just a stone's throw away from the Red Rocks Amphitheater. I'm here with the founder of the Colorado Haunted History Tours. Joel, basically this is something that has started with you some time ago. Your interest in the strange and paranormal began with you taking basically a photography class on ghosts. Tell me how that got started.
Well, a friend of mine from out of town was showing me some ghost photography that he took in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and that really sparked my interest. And he was wondering if there's a place out here to, investigate that sort of thing. So we took a ghost photography class from a couple who was actually operating the tours prior to me doing the tours here. And then we, took those. I developed a relationship with the couple that was operating those tours, and then when they moved to Wyoming, they sold the business to me.
So left you to take on the tours around Morrison here. Tell me, because I know this isn't your typical this is this building kind of tour. Tell me about how your tours go.
Well, the tours are about an hour and a half. It's about a half mile of walking, and then I tell a lot of the history of the town, tell about a lot of the people that used to live here, their interesting history, and then some of the things that go on in a lot of the buildings as far as the hauntings that people that live around here or, work in some of the businesses, things that they've...
Absolutely. I mean, Morrison has kind of a cool feel to it to begin with. Was Morrison your first choice when you decided to break off into this?
Oh yeah, Morrison was a great place. Just the history of it, being a historic district, all the buildings are still historic, still really old, and definitely keen to a lot of paranormal activity.
What age group are we looking at here? I mean, how young can you accommodate, and up to what age?
I would say probably 8 years old is probably the youngest that would really get into it, maybe 7, and then all the way up to however old you want to be to take the tour.
Or we can handle it.
Yeah. It's a walking tour, so it's a half mile of walking with about 10 stops during the tour.
Okay, so you're actually right there in the midst of it all, and you're not looking through a windshield. You're actually right in the middle of it all. Let me ask you, anything in the past couple of years you've done, anything unusual happen?
Oh yeah, there's a few spots that we've stopped at where, we've experienced aromas that people have always talked about, occurring with spiritual activity. One certain place, we would have the aroma of a very sweet smelling tobacco arriving from that location from time to time. In fact, here where we're doing this interview, out back here, there's a spot where a woman is said to have passed away during the night. And we've encountered interesting photographs taken at that location by people, as well as the aroma of a very sweet smelling perfume emanating from that location as well.
I must admit, I actually had a scent of that as I walked in here. And me and the camera person looked at each other and said, what in the world is that? When you're walking around on the tours here, it takes about an hour and a half. Do you do these tours year-round?
I actually do the tours year-round. Obviously the busiest time is October, but I do the tours year-round, usually on weekends, just as interest occurs.
Sure. So. Absolutely. So you've got some set times that you can set up for, but people could put in requests, let's say, if they had a group or maybe a corporate wants to come through or something like that?
Yeah, if somebody has a group of 5 or more, we'll definitely try and accommodate them to schedule really just about any time that they want to do a tour.
Fantastic. That sounds great. You guys basically have a Facebook right now, so anybody who's gone on the tours can kind of go become a fan there. I know you guys have a couple thousand already, and so people can go on there and kind of talk back and forth about different experiences.
Oh yeah, people can go on the Facebook page. They can post pictures that they've taken during the tour, make reviews of the tour, and just talk about anything paranormal in Colorado or really nationwide that they feel like talking about. And I can respond back to them, and they converse back and forth about things that they've experienced too.
So obviously Halloween just around the corner. That's your top time when people want to get out and do whatnot. Do you actually have a tour on Halloween night?
I actually do have a tour on Halloween night.
And if people want to book this tour, they just got to call the phone number there, or is it best for them to get on the website and actually contact that way?
They can contact me either way. They can call the phone number, which is 888-649-3849, or they can email at tours@coloradohauntedhistory.com.
Perfect. Sounds good. Now tell me on this tour, I know you've got probably a random of 8 to 10 spots that you probably take them through. Tell me your top 3, your top favorite ones, and give me a little idea of what they're going to be seeing.
Okay. First top spot is definitely the Cliff House where we're doing this interview from right now. This is the original home of George Morrison, who the town was named after. He's been felt around on the premises. There's been the next owner after that. His wife essentially lost her mind, and so she was institutionalized and she was brought back here. And it was said that he was so overcome with grief that he actually walked out of the back side of the property and hanged himself in a barn out back. And some people have experienced him roaming around the back property. And then there's been some other interesting people from a time when it was a flop house and a boarding house, such as a World War I veteran who had a peg leg, and people experienced the step clomp experience of somebody walking on a wooden floor up on the second floor. Even though it's now carpeted up there, it still sounds as if he's walking on a wooden floor. And then just all kinds of other paranormal activity going on here.
Fantastic. If these walls could talk, huh? Oh, yeah. Tell me about the next one.
Next one would be the Horton House Bed and Breakfast. That was originally owned by Mr. Tom Lewis and his family, and he operated a business on that property with his partner James Abbo. He got into some pretty ill health in his later years of life, and he asked his daughter to marry his business partner, but at the time she was 37 years old, so she's definitely considered a spinster. Reason why she was a spinster probably was she was an alcoholic and also suffered from depression. And it was said that they were married for a short period of time, and then she slipped back into her depression and then hanged herself in the barn out back on that property as well. So a couple hangings during this tour. Third place, I would say, is probably Tony Rigatoni's. Tony Rigatoni's is said to have been the location of a murder of an 8-year-old girl near the turn of the century, and she's been known to have a hatred towards men. So she's been known to throw pots and pans at the male chefs, swing a couple gates up on the second floor and hit men in very delicate parts of their anatomy, and just really confuse a lot of the people that work there. They've seen her presence just kind of roaming the property from time to time, too.